Good evening and welcome to v8sonline's coverage of the Sim Instruments Truck Series, brought to you by Sim Instruments and the v8 Online Superstore coming soon. My name's Mike Korolev and I'll be commentating your race tonight, back from a little sabbatical 1 week out, and next to me in the commentary booth as usual, Anthony Kernich. Anthony, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, how did we go last week? First of all, let's have a quick recap from Chicagoland Speedway. Anthony, you were there. What were the results?
It was a very interesting, dramatic race, much more dramatic than we were expecting. Jason Martin did come out with the win, but he had to fight his way back from 9th place about a third of the way through the race and worked his way up nicely, passing quite a few cars, and managed to pull off the win just in front of Rob Hartley. And there was quite a bit of action behind, a few cautions to mix it up.
Sounds like fantastic racing. Sorry I missed it, but thanks to my stand-in, I think it was Sebastian that stood in and gave you a hand for the call. Thank you very much, Seb. Now, a few housekeeping things we might just like to remind you. This is the last telecast that V8's Online will be doing for the year. They won't be doing the Pro Day GT this Sunday, and so from the truck series, we will be missing the next round at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and Richmond International Speedway, but we will be back in January in the new year for Rockingham Speedway. That will be the 8th of January, and followed by the final round for the season at Daytona. However, V8's Online will certainly be back on the 5th, and that'll be the first telecast for the year. That's the 5th of January for the Proto GT round on the Sunday night. So, here we are. We're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Fantastic circuit. Lots of history, lots of interesting races have been held here for the trucks. Anthony, how are they going to handle this circuit?
Yeah, it's a very, very challenging track to get around. It's 4 corners which are all very different. Look very different to each other, although on the map they may look the same. They all drive differently, so it's very hard to get a lap together. The conditions that RS have given us are very fast, and the setup RS has given us is quite loose, so it's a real challenge to get around this place by yourself, never mind in a pack. And also draft is quite big here with the long straightaways.
For sure, 20 laps around there is going to be a bit of a challenge. I think we're obviously going to see the odd yellow flag, although there have been a few green flag races. Let's have a look at our championship standings for the moment. Francis Dunnett, sitting on 794 points, leads the championship, with Jason Martin, with his win last week, has moved a little bit closer, only 81 points behind on 713. Nathan Britton not too far behind him either, just breathing down Jason's neck at 704 points. Then we have Rob Hartley. Rob moving up through the championship points with good consistent racing, and obviously that second place at Chicago last week didn't do him any harm at all. Luke Betts sitting in 5th place, not too bad for Luke. He can do better than that if he's a little more consistent, but he's had a little bit of bad luck this year. And then 6th place, Simon Walker. Rob Lee, 7th. Bit of a part-time racer. Rob races for fun these days, so comes along when he can. Timmy Foltz sitting in 8th place, and Ian Ford and Jason Scandalera. So that's 3 multi-21 drivers sitting right there in the bottom half of the top 10 from 8th through to 10th. So, let's run through the rest of the points very quickly for you. 11th is Tony Autridge, 12th Tim Jackson, 13th Michael Schreier, then Dean O'Brien, Scott Griffiths, Greg Harvey, Alistair Topley, Paul Gorrell, Michael Ford and Bradley Matheson will round out the top 20. So now Indianapolis here, Anthony, you're saying very fast, 4 corners, all just a little bit different. But just in regards to that, how does it go from a visual point of view? I mean, we've got plenty of long straights. You can draft up behind the guy in front of you, but when you're right up there, how important is it to see those corners to get your entry right?
Yeah, the entry's is very important here. Though there's not a lot of banking to pull you around. There's only 9 degrees in the corners, and also those curbs on the inside are flat, so they can pull you around if you hit them. And when you're behind someone, you have to use grandstands and fence reference points rather than the actual track itself. You're almost driving off memory, which is one of the reasons why this track is so challenging in racing conditions.
Yeah, very much so. And how does the aero affect the nose of the car when you're tucked up behind someone else into those curves? Is there much effect there, or is it racing pretty as usual?
Yeah, it's aero does actually play an important role in this track. You're turning for quite a long time, and do tend to understeer a bit when you're on another car, and that actually makes tyres not as important here as some other tracks, because you can still hold a guy off who's on 4 fresh tyres behind you, because it's quite difficult to pass.
So, tyre wear though, how will that affect? If you're saying it's not too bad, I imagine the outside or right-hand tyres with the long radius corners that we have here, and there are 4 of them, all of similar nature. Much difference in tyre wear across the inside to the outside?
Yeah, the lap times do fall off quite a bit, so the tyres are wearing. And obviously, yeah, the right sides do take quite a punishing around here with a lot of turning. But yeah, and because it's such a short race, we might not see guys pit. Certainly the leaders. Last season, we didn't see any of the leaders pit for the entire race. So track position is more important than tyres in such a short race.
There's certainly going to be a tactical event, that's for sure. 3 splits tonight, which is quite interesting. So we've had a lot of guys show up to have a run. In our top split, we're going to be looking at 14 runners. So, okay, we're just coming in there. Won't be long till we're about to grid up. So we've got who have we got? Tim Jackson, Wayne Burke, Andrew Wallace. Good to see Andy making the top split there. He's been trying for a while, working on his I rating, getting himself up there. Quite a quick runner. Mike Schreier, David Bernard's in here, Luke Betts, Jason Hardman, Sam Sutton, Rob Hartley, Greg Harvey, Francis Dunnett, Martin Carroll, Dean O'Brien. Bit of a story there with Francis, Anthony.
Yes, I believe he's a rookie to this track, so it's going to be a challenge for him to get around this racetrack for one of his first times.
Any speculation on how you think he'll go? I mean, Francis is a pretty talented little driver there. Do you think he'll adapt quick enough?
Yeah, I think he'll figure the place out quick. Despite this place being very difficult, it is quite easy to learn once you know the reference points.
All right, let's run through our starting grid. Front row, who have we got? Tim Jackson sitting on the pole. Next to him, Wayne Burke. Row 2, Andrew Wallace and Michael Schreier. So 2 multi-21 drivers sitting up on the outside of rows 1 and 2. We also have then on row 3, David Bernard, Luke Betts. Row 4, Jason Hardman, Sam Sutton. Row 5, Rob Hartley and Greg Harvey. Row 6, Francis Dunnett, Martin Carroll. And row 7, Dean O'Brien. Now, should be quite an interesting race, I think. Rob Hartley had a run in the race earlier. He was pretty quick and really had a bit of an unlucky run, to be honest. He got a bit of a shuffle out. So how important here is it, Anthony, to get inside another driver? Can you hold them off, and can the driver on the outside fight back?
Yeah, outside's pretty difficult. The wall comes up pretty quick, and it's also quite further around. So it's virtually impossible to hold the high side unless you really pinch the guy down.
Can't keep the extra speed. Can't keep the extra speed on the outside, you reckon?
No, I don't think might see some guys try, but it's only going to happen.
And so how do you see the race playing out? You think we're going to get a caution-free run?
Yeah, we've only got 14 cars in here, so it's a short field. And we might stay green if the guys start to spread out, not racing too much. It's the restarts that are going to be the starts and restarts that are going to be potential for trouble. Turn 2, from memory, last season was the place where most of the trouble took place. So
all right, our pace car moves in, waiting for a start. Jackson holds them and goes early, gets good jump. He rolls it down past the start-finish line now. Fantastic stuff. Wayne Burke was slowing in second place with Andrew Wallace taking third and Michael Shea dropping in right behind him. David Bernard sitting in sixth place with Luke Benson, Jason Hardman. Too wide. Rob Hartley looks like he's going to try and make it too wide.
It's too wide around here is a bit of an issue. The guys in front and behind can close up or pull away. So you don't want to be doing it for too long. Also the balls are there waiting to bite. So as we've got 3 wide at the back of the field.
Oh, somebody got loose up there too.
Don't get out of it quite quickly.
Rob Hartley's been held on the outside. That's going to make it difficult for him. Come down the main straight now. 1 down, 19 to go.
It's the middle of the field's looking quite action-packed. We've got sort of 2 and almost 3 wide.
There's been a change for the lead too. Tim Jackson slipped up a little bit wide. Wayne Burke got down on the inside of him into turn 1. He now leads up the back straight.
These conditions that AUS have given us, the overcast weather, is making the draft a lot bigger than it normally is.
Looks like Bernard's having a little look under Wallace into 3. I think he'll get the job done there, and he'll be pretty steady. Yeah, and he does. All right, the order starts to settle down now.
It's starting to spread out towards the front, but still on at the back of the field between Sam Sutton.
Hartley has a look down into 1. Looks like he's got the job done. Slips underneath Francis Dunnett. Nice move, Rob Hartley.
So Francis is struggling. Not surprised considering he's walking into this place. You've got to hit all the corners right to be faster in here. It's not a matter of getting one end and sort of carrying on.
Front 3 seem to be just moving away a little bit there. Anthony, you think they can make a break and get themselves clear?
Yeah, if you can get out of the draft, you can pull away, and if you're hitting the corners correct, it's quite easy to pull away.
Actually, Wayne Burke's done quite a good job, actually, just gapping himself to Timothy Jackson. Michael Schreier hanging on. That's going to be pleasing for Timmy Foltz to see multi-21 drivers up in P1 and P3, looking quite strong at the moment.
And these guys are normally associated with V8 supercar road racing. So come to Indianapolis and show the way is obviously very, very good.
It's like Rob Hartley's moved forward another spot. Is he moved on? Is it Schreier or Scandalera? It's hard to tell with all those multiple. Okay, he's moved up onto the back of Scandalera.
So Sam Sutton's looking to make a move on this in turn 4. It's not really the place to hustle this track. You've got to really do it at the end of the straightaways, into turn 1 or turn 3.
It certainly makes
to hamper you.
It makes turn 2 and turn 4 extremely important to get off with that quick acceleration, to get the foot flat to the floor as it were, and get a good run down the long chute, doesn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to hamper yourself.
Wayne Burke just a little bit of a gap there.
So I believe we're on board with Sam Sutton.
Australia just closing up behind Jackson a little.
So
We were
most
watching
of the field's
Reeve.
single file at the moment. This track in real life tends to be quite single file. It's one line in the corners. So as we've got a caution out, Francis has been turned to turn 4.
Well, unlucky for Francis, but good timing for Andrew Wallace. He just got in front of David Bernard at that point. Let's go to a race recall and see what happened to Francis Dunnett.
Yeah, it looks like Martin Carroll just decided to have a go, and he was a little bit too far back and collected Francis's left rear and sent him into the wall, side on. Quite a bit of damage there, but might not hamper him too much. So we're being told his internet connection is having some issues, so that may have contributed to that. He may have disappeared and then come back, obviously causing problems for Martin.
He's got a lot of damage on the front though. I think
it's heavily damaged, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to struggle with that, certainly. If you don't have any decent aero here or something slowing you up, there's just no way you're going to be able to keep up with him.
Yeah, aero's everything around here because of so much turning and long straightaways. You don't want to be 20 k's down on the straights, you never make it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking at Francis' car, he's pulled it down onto the lane. He's definitely heading to pit lane. There's no way he can continue with that. So we're under caution. Let's see who's heading into the pits. Andrew Wallace is the first car in from position 4, and basically the rest of the field's followed him in for tyres.
Yeah, if you're at the back of the field, you'd probably pit anyway, just try and gain some advantage. So some of the guys in the midfield did choose not to pit there.
No, Sam Sutton, Sandalera, they both stayed out. That's going to give them good track position.
The 3 leaders have decided to not pit.
Let's have a look at our pit times, see who gets in and out the quickest. Hartley and Carroll have only taken 2. They're going to get good track position as well.
2's not such a bad call. Short race, haven't many laps and tyres.
Looks like David Bernard, 13.9 was his pit time. He's, sorry, Andrew Wallace, that was my mistake. Andrew Wallace, so that's held his position in front of Bernard, but he's lost a few spots obviously to the guys that didn't pit, and then our souls that only took 2 tyres, so that's going to leave Andy with a bit of work to do.
2 tyres is such a bad call at this stage, and it's just a very short race, and haven't run too many laps, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, it's going to be long pace laps. We'll obviously have to fill in a little bit there. I tell you what multi-21 cars from 1 through to P5 only split by Tim Jackson in the Demidov entry. That obviously will make Nathan Britton happy, but I tell you what, Tim Phelps has got a big grin, and he'd have a smile going from ear to ear at the moment, wouldn't he? They're virtually spamming the top 5.
Yeah, obviously they've been getting the hang of this oval racing, and obviously stepped away from the road and decided to come to oval, and it seems to be working.
And they've also got backups up at the back of the grid there as well. Dean O'Brien, Greg Harvey.
There seems to be a large proportion of the field is multi-21, so obviously they decided that they're going to make an onslaught at this series.
Yeah, good on them too.
So Francis is still sitting on pit road, and he doesn't get out quickly. He's going to go a lap down now. He's just got out of his stall in time. He's obviously got quite a bit more damage than appears.
We should mention too tonight, good strength of field, 23.15. That's not too bad for the trucks. For an Australian sprint, that's our best yet, I believe, Anthony.
Yeah, it's pretty good to see that sort of number. It's obviously with these guys racing more, their I rating is increasing, so their strength of fields are going up naturally. But we are on 1 to green, so obviously with no one being a lap down, this caution's going to be quite quick.
So let's run through our grid while we bring them around on the caution lap. The pace lights are off. Wayne Burke and Tim Jackson will line up on the front row as they did for the start of the race, but in opposite positions. Next, row 2 will be Michael Schreier and Sam Sutton. Then we'll have row 3, Jason Scandalera and Rob Hartley on the outside. I know that won't favour him, he's not happy out there. Row 4, Martin Carroll and Andrew Wallace. He's dropped down from a good starting position in fourth. Row 5, David Bernard, Jason Hardman. But these guys are also on fresh tyres, so we'll expect to see something happen from them, hopefully. Then we have Luke Betts, Dean O'Brien, Greg Harvey, and Francis Dunnett rounding out the 14 drivers in the grid.
So everyone's still running at this stage, so Francis is obviously well off pace. He's catching up to the back of the field now, but he's about 15 k's down on a normal straight line speed.
I think that just about see him get lapped by the end of the race if there are no more cautions.
It's a relatively long lap time, 50 odd seconds, and it might not be too far off the pace. Maybe he uses draft to keep up. .65 thereabouts, quickest lap of the race so far, so yeah, we might see it.
Alright, we're under starters orders now, and Burke jumps early. He's gone. There's a couple of cars spreading wide at the back, but he's got a great jump.
Obviously accelerated quite a bit later. I say 3 wide almost in the, yes.
Hartley's made it. Yeah, he's made a good start too.
Yeah, a little bit loose in that first corner. Mark Carroll's made an error in the turn 1 area.
And even through turn 1, turn 2, they're still too wide. Jackson now slots into second place. Multi-21 drivers.
Made a relatively good start. He's picked up a few spots already. So still relatively clean through the first 3 quarters of a lap. Burke's jumped away already, so looks like he might take this one if go goes good for him.
Yeah, that bit of a duel between the Tim Jackson and the multi-21 drivers certainly gave him the opportunity to just open out a little gap. Just 0.6 of a second, but that's a handy gap to have here.
Yeah, it takes quite a bit of time to catch that back up too, especially with the fixed setup and lap times being not too far apart. As
oh, they're
Rob
3
Hartley's
wide.
Looking to make a move.
3 wide going through 2. I think I'm not sure. It was one of the 21 drivers gave the wall a bit of a bounce there into 1, just coming out of 1, and it slowed him down. Hartley now underneath Scandalera. Can he get the position done?
Yes, I believe he's.
There he goes.
I believe he took 2 tyres on that caution, so he's catching these next 2 quite quickly. So he's definitely has got an advantage. This tyres might work out for him. The 4 tyre guys haven't been making progress, I expected though. Yeah, they're way down the field, so obviously track position is of paramount importance. It takes a while to make it up. When we go to those bigger tracks, the tyres is a much bigger advantage.
As we go on board with Rob Hartley down the back straight now, slotting in behind Michael Schreier. Oh, they're 2 and 3 wide further back behind him too. Rob Hartley.
So Dino
nice
Myers trying
entry.
to make a move very, very low. So a little bit of contact with Sam Sutton and Andrew Wallace. Sam Sutton hard into the wall.
Bang into the wall.
That's probably going to cost him several spots. That was a very, very hard hit.
Yeah, it'll brush a lot of
again,
speed
so
off
yeah,
him.
he's going to fall to the rear of this field. As Francis has managed to make a pass on Martin Carroll, but he's still struggling.
Okay, so we've got Tim Jackson sitting here in second place, third Michael Schreier, fourth Rob Hartley. He's looking to get inside of Schreier. He's definitely having a look, trying to get by. Up the back straight, can he get in beside of him? Not quite. He's got a nose in there, he might throw it in. Into 3.
Yes, and Schreier's way up the track, he's not going to hold that off.
Smart driving by both drivers there, really. Rob forced the issue, but Schreier gave him room, so nice and clean. He gets the pass done, takes third position as they come out of 4 now.
As we got Greg Harvey's on pit road, so something's happened to him.
I think he brushed the wall earlier on. I saw someone in the back of the field.
Martin Carroll have also slowed down. We might have an incident at the back of the field here. Got 3 cars that are currently pitting. So
a little bit of a gap now. Hartley forcing the order and moving himself up in third position. It's just allowed Tim Jackson to get a little bit of a gap, while Schreier's in behind, and from behind him, Scandalera and Hardman is starting to close up onto him. He may be having a look at getting underneath him too. Hardman, he'd be the first of the runners with 4 tyres. Meanwhile, Wayne Burke.
Seems like these tyres are starting to neutralise now, so shows the importance of track position.
Absolutely, but it's certainly worked well for Rob Hartley, hasn't it? Let's see if he's still got anything for Tim Jackson. He's starting to close in on him just a little. Come out of 1. Oh, that's not going to work like that. Hardman's brushed the wall coming out of 1.
Yeah,
Gave it a heavy slap.
Hartley's hitting.
He's hit it again, coming out of 2. That's going to slow him.
You don't want to be hitting the walls here.
Wallace inside of O'Brien for turn 3. Gets the job done. He'll be happy with that. He's, like I said, he's been working hard to get himself into the top split. Very quick driver is Andy Wallace. Rob Hartley now on Jackson's tail as they draft down the front straight. Will he pop out? Not this lap. Oh, yes, he does. Is he in there?
Yeah,
he is too.
Probably not a good thing, because if those two stay lined up, they can catch the leader. And racing side by side, it's going to allow Burke to pull away.
Didn't get the job done though.
Burke's, can't say walking away, but he's certainly pulling away quite well. A lot of that ground obviously he made on that restart, but
yeah, he's just taking advantage, isn't he, of those drivers fighting behind him.
He's hitting all his corners very well.
Looks like David Menard's starting a little bit of a march forward. He's got himself underneath Dean O'Brien.
Whereas we got Hartley again looking to take second place. We got a little bit of chatter amongst the drivers. So Wayne's happy to see these guys race.
Absolutely, that's what you'd want to see. Looks like Hartley will be able to complete the job. He's got beside him into 1. He's completed it coming out of 2. So Rob Hartley now moves up into second position. Tim Jackson moving.
A little bit of a block on. Nothing too major there. It's just defensive driving.
Just holding him out. We're on lap 16 of 20, so the race is starting to tick itself down. Can Rob Hartley catch Wayne Burke in 4 laps? Hard to say.
If he hits his marks, it doesn't hit any walls and hits all 4 of his corners.
I think the problem is Wayne's going to do the same thing. He's a pretty experienced and very quick oval driver, that's for sure.
Yeah, Wayne's one of these ones who seems to be quite quick in both disciplines. Pretty handy in the V8 and obviously showing his speed tonight. As Hartley does seem to be closing, as Jackson's made a mistake in turn 2, it's going to probably cost him a spot.
Yeah, Schreier pops out. He's obviously had a better run. It's like he's getting up beside of him. Puts it in turn 3.
These tyre guys, these people who change tyres at that caution made virtually no progress at all. Tim Jackson's still struggling. He's trying to block Scandalora. That probably wasn't the best thing. As Rob Hartley's hit the wall out of turn 4. Is he pushing to close?
Well, Tim Jackson dropped a few spots there. Back in 5th place now, Andy Wallace closing in on him.
So
Wallace has fresh tyres too.
He has got damage now from that touch on the wall. He's not catching Wayne as quickly as he was.
Can he do it by himself, do you think?
It's going to be very, very difficult. The lap times are virtually identical at the moment. So he's going to have to rely on mistakes rather than genuine speed.
Andy Wallace has closed up onto the back of
left.
this group now. He's back on Jackson's tail. He's sitting right behind Scandalera and Schreier. They're forming a nice little four-car train, and there's just a slight gap back to the cars behind them of Jason Hardman, Dean O'Brien, Luke Betts and David Bernard now getting onto the tail of Luke Betts. We're on board with Andy Wallace. Let's follow him around for a lap, see how he hits his marks. Oh, there's spinners in the back.
Yeah, we've got to get caution out so that
O'Brien.
obviously with the caution with only a lap and a half left, there's not enough time to take another restart, so that's going to be the end of the race at Indianapolis.
Well, that's a bit of a shame. Let's have a race recall replay and see what happened. Looks like Betts just got inside him like a one, and Dean turned down and kept coming.
That's a very hard hit for Dean O'Brien. Unfortunate racing accident, but it's a product of this track. You do tend to see incidents right in the middle of the corners.
Yeah, it looks like Luke Betts has just got the inside run and put the nose down in there and trying to claim the corner, and Dean's just turned down on him. It's grabbed the rear, turned him sideways. He's actually held onto it for a bit, but when it gripped up, it's turned hard right into the outside wall. So that's pretty much the end of Dean O'Brien. Fair bit of damage on the left rear corner there, and truck's grabbing pretty bad. So bit of a shame for Dean. He wasn't having too bad a run. Let's see if we can grab hold of Rob Hartley. Rob, Mike Corliff and Anthony Kernich in the commentary booth. Do you have a copy?
Gentlemen, how are we?
Fantastic, mate. Bit of a drive there from you, buddy, up to second place. Got to be happy with that?
Don't sound too surprised, Mike. It does happen from time to time.
Oh,
no, really happy with that, really happy with that. Was catching him there for a bit, but the tyres started to go off and I clobbered the wall coming out of 4, I think it was, at one point there, and just, yeah, pretty much hurt my chances, but no, it was good fun.
Did that slow you down after you touched the wall there?
It put me off a bit and probably knocked me back about 2/10 off the back of Wayne, so that was hard to get back anyway, with the tyres going off at the end there, yeah. I probably got no insides. The outer tyres aren't too bad after that pit stop.
Pretty good.
So.
Pretty good climb from you to come back up after the pit stop there. A bit of a gamble going in and losing track position. You seem to drop back a little, but the tyres worked out well for you.
Yeah, well, one of the earlier races I kept an eye on some tyre wear just to see how it was after a couple laps. Yeah, I just thought, I'll just take 2 and just take a bit of a gamble. I mean, I'm in 10th or something, so it's not like it's going to hurt me too much.
Good run anyway, mate. Congratulations on your second position, and thanks for having a chat.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you very much. Well, there we have it. Our race from Indianapolis Motor Speedway finishing under caution. Bit of a shame, really, with an incident in Luke Betts and Dean O'Brien, but Wayne Burke coming up to be our winner. Pretty dominant race, really, from his point of view, Anthony. Absolutely. So Wayne Burke wins it from Rob Hartley. Michael Schreier finishing 3rd. Jason Scandalera and Tim Jackson taking out 4th and 5th. Andy Wallace, nice drive to 6th. Jason Hardman 7th. Luke Betts, David Bernard, Sam Sutton, Dean O'Brien spinning himself or getting spun back down to 11th place and finishing 1 lap up on Greg Harvey. Martin Carroll was down 6th, and Francis, after that earlier incident, finishing in 8th position. So once again, congratulations to Wayne Burke. Nice drive, very dominant. Rob Hartley, did a good job, got himself up there. And Michael Schreier, consistent, and obviously the first driver to finish in the Multi-21 team. It's been a pretty good race overall, interesting, a little bit different, and Indianapolis certainly throws that sort of thing to us.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks where people who aren't normally don't normally show up at other tracks can all of a sudden come into play. It's a completely different style compared to the mile and a halves. So yeah, it's good to see that some of the non-regulars getting a win.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in our points championship with Francis Dunnett sitting up at the top of the leaderboard, but having a disastrous race. No Jason Martin, no Nathan Britton. Rob Hartley in the second position, although he's still down a fair few points, some 196 back. That's going to close him up and put him right on Nathan Britton's tail. Luke Betts got some points out of there. The next driver that we would see get some points will be Jason Scandalera. Tim Jackson, he faded a little bit there, but he'll get some points in the forwards too, and same with Greg Harvey. So there we have it, Anthony. That's the end of our broadcasts for the year. We'll see you in the new year for Rockingham. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's my favourite track of all. So, and it's extremely difficult to get around, fast and consistent. So it's extremely bumpy. So it's going to throw up another curveball for these guys.
Yep, I think it's a great circuit too. I quite like it. It's certainly a challenge to drive on. And we'll just recap, just letting all our viewers know this is the last telecast for the year. There will be no GT prototype broadcast from the v8sonline boys this Sunday. So we will be missing from the truck series. We will be missing Las Vegas and Richmond. They both fall on Christmas and New Year, but back for Rockingham. And that will be the 8th of January. And the v8sonline crew will have their first broadcast in the new year on the 5th of January for the Prototype GT Challenge. That's Sunday the 5th of January. We hope you can all join us then, and we hope all our viewers have a safe and Merry Christmas with your loved ones. Have a fantastic time. Thank you, Anthony, for seeing out 2013 with me. We'll both be back in the booth in 2014. I'd like to say thanks to Des Hallam for all his work and assistance in the season so far. He certainly coached me and got me going, and we hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. My name is Mike Korolev, and for the Sim Instruments Truck Series, saying good night.